Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition, another look at WTI crude oil and where that price might be heading off to next. If you're new to the show, thanks for joining us. We're going to be covering off some fundamentals, some sentiment, and the technicals, like I said, to see where that price is heading next. Now, always like to start with the story behind the market before we get into the charts. And at the moment, it's quite an interesting setup. We've got a very strong dollar that obviously if WTI being priced in US dollars, then that's going to seriously impact that. And it's been pushing on upwards. So we've got that there. We've got increasing bond yields, and also really the supply side is quite an interesting sort of mixed bag of stuff at the moment. We've got Turkish Iraqi pipeline coming on, which you would think the Iraqis would like to pump out more supply there, but you've also got OPEC plus, with tight supply production cuts, trying to control stuff there. But question is, can they really keep that going into the longer term? Be interesting to see. So there's a whole load of stuff going on. And I suppose also another factor is interest rates. When they remain high, storage costs are high, more expensive. So people want to get more out into the market. So like I say, it's a mixed bag really of supply side issues. The other one, I suppose, China. Demand there, they're one of the biggest commodity hoover uppers of all the different asset classes, and especially WTI crude oils. And at the moment they're struggling a bit, and that can seriously impact the price of oil as well. So keep an eye out there as well. And the other factor this week is that we've got China on holiday all week, so we haven't got that input into the market, so that can take out a bit of liquidity and make things a bit more juicy. So let's get into the detail. What's been going on this morning? Let's have a look, and actually we can see from yesterday, start of the month, October, we had this big pull off in the price, and actually I've marked it on there. It was down to the lows this morning, UK time. This is about 4 o'clock this morning, about 4.5% off from yesterday morning's highs, around about $91.9. And as you can see, since then, since the markets have woken up a bit, we've been pushing on up slightly, about 50 cents up from those lows. So bit of fundamentals. I like to use the rig count as a good proxy for what's going on in the market, the sector. US line to me is the important one, and change from prior count -7, and change from last year -142. So I would say that is weak bearish. Excuse me. Inventories, the forecast won't be out yet. They'll be later today, so keep an eye out for them. But again, I keep emphasizing, I like to use outliers in the numbers when you see the different from the actual from the forecast in a big way. Often can spark a change in direction of the price or a speed up of the trend. Last week it was minus 2.17 million barrels, slightly better than forecast. Let's wait and see what comes out there, and then watch out for Wednesday's actual numbers to see, like I said, whether there's any discrepancies, any outlying events. So also, why don't we look at this? We've got here a whole bunch of commodities, just looking at last quarter's performance to see how crude oil fitted into the scheme of things. And actually you can see WTI up here. Let me just mark that. There he is. Up 20% over the last quarter into the start of this one. The big winners, orange juice, up over 30%, and heating oil. Right down the bottom there, we've got I think lean hogs, and above that, actually interestingly, wheat down 12%. That's very interesting when we put into context the Ukraine-Russian conflict, but that's for another video. But at the moment, oil, one of the leaders in the commodity field, up, just I say about 20%. So let's get into some seasonality down the bottom there. You can see on the right hand side it's in a little bit of a dip, not much, and then it starts to pick up for, let's say, the first couple of weeks of October, then flattens off, dips down, and then fires on up into the new year. So we could call that neutral, really. And then the commitment of traders data above, large commercials, large speculators. Now, as you know, if you're watching this show for a while, I like to see the large speculators following the price and the large commercials doing the inverse to the price. And we've got that on the large commercials, but interesting, large speculators there, looks like their bullish positions just flattening out. They haven't added much to them there to follow on that recent, actually from June time, really, that great run up. And we've just seen, this is a daily chart, a bit of a pull off there in the price, but still, I'd call the COP data weak bullish. Volatility measured by the OVX here from the CBOE, still picking up. So we like volatility, especially volatility we can measure because that equals good price action. And that's above its moving average and above this band, so that's interesting to watch. Normally more of a bearish indication for me there. And my basket of oil related currencies heading down, which you can see there, which sort of reflects the price at the moment. So like I said, just another basket of tools that you can use to piece together the story of what's going on. So we take away so far where you probably say neutral to weak bearish, possibly, after that great sort of run up that we've seen over the last quarter. Now heading into the charts, we got the weekly Heikin-Ashi chart here, and let's just draw on that 2 standard deviation regression band, see if there's anything different going on from last week. Not really. Still pushing on upwards there. You can see towards the main price on that trend band, which would be at $98, which we've touched and seen. So maybe it's done its stuff and we'll be heading back towards the lower band, where you've got a lot of volume to support it there on the right, which would also coincide with this Fibonacci line around about $67. So maybe look out for that pullback there. There's some numbers for you to think about. Now, if it can move on up, where's the upside? It's back to those highs that we saw around in March of last year, about $130, but that still seems a long way off. I think we need a bit more of a fundamental shift to get it up that way. And also really to the downside, doesn't seem to be too much direction in either way to give us a real strong point of view. But that zone through the middle, 61.8% Fibonacci line, just under $83. Another area of possible short-term support before a bounce or watch it break through. So if you're focused in on shorter-term price action, got the 4-line break chart here. Remember, I use the 4-2 setup. You find out more about that on my channel. Videos on line break. At the moment, we've got a bullish setup. You're probably looking to get in at the moment. In the real, if you're being a bit more aggressive, maybe a bit more conservative, you'd wait till about $89 before jumping on in. And then into the Renko charts, a longer term look, $1 block size used for the Renko chart here. Down the bottom, trend bullish, stochastic, short term, immediate term bearish. You can see that reflected in that price pull off. We got price data going back about a year, so taking the highs and the lows there, lows being in at $65 and the highs in at $97. So what's it looking like? Well, for a pullback in price, we've got this 61.8% at just about $85, and then under that back to the point of control and the Fibonacci line at $81. You can see all that volume over there. That would be an interesting pullback place, and then you can see again, if it does get to that point of control, there's a whole load of price action that's been going on over the year in that space. So if you drew a straight line through that, you'd have stuff either side of that band, and which, like we saw from the earlier commitment of traders chart, there's that being that big range, wide range of sideways price action, enough to give you certainly a lot of trading opportunity in between that. But at the moment, like we said, it's a bit unfocused on where it's going to go next. But looking at that chart, support, like I said, $85, then 81 to the upside, get through those highs at 97, then 106 and 110. Let's just draw in on some quicker Renko action. We've got a 25-cent block size, see up there. So pretty fast, takes us back to late August, where the lows were in at $78, and point of control here at the moment through 90. You can see all that price action. So it was a bit of a dull September really, until the last week when it hopped on up to 95, and then we've got this pullback in place at the moment. A little bit of a kickstart this morning, like we saw. Let's just zoom in on there a bit so we can see what's going on a bit better. There we go. Right, so in terms of targets, what have we got? Downwards wise, we got 86.5, let's call that, 84 3/4, and then 82 1/4. Upwise, it's this price action through here, 91.5, not a lot of volume in there, and then up to 95, and above that you're going to be edging your way to 100 on the upside. So there you go, crude oil. It looks like a market in flux at the moment. There's push and pulls from all sides, with the strong dollar at the moment maybe feeling a bit more weaker than it has for a while after, like I said, that good run up. And as we saw from the quarter results there, they've been flying as a commodity investment over the last 3 or so months. At the moment, like I said, neutral to weak bullish, but look out for any fundamental news spikes that could take it either way. Plenty of price action and volatility in there, for shorter term trades as well. It's a great market to trade. Also, if you want to learn more about it, check out the channel. All the history of posts that I've been putting on there, plenty for you to get your teeth into and learn about how crude oil works and how these Renko charts function. If you've enjoyed that, then there's lots of playlists for you to get your teeth into. So don't forget to hit the subs and bell buttons to receive future notification of content just like this. Lots of stuff coming out regularly every week for you guys to get stuck into and hopefully aid your trading. And if you like today's video, please give us the thumbs up. And all that's left for me to say is thanks for watching today. Good luck with that trading, and I hope to see you soon. See you.